Mama, stop carrying everything. You take on everybody's everything, their physical jobs and duties and responsibilities, their emotional load. You are so weighed down with everybody's everything. And I want to talk about why that is, what we can do about it, and how we can make the shift so we can feel that peace, that freedom, that joy in our lives again. We can feel balanced. Okay, so the first thing is we want to talk about why do we take this on? This starts at a very, very beginning, right? A lot of times before even children are conceived, we start planning out when we're going to have this baby, who the OBGYN is, where the nursery is going to be, how many kids we're going to have, right? We start taking on the responsibility. We're the ones that make the phone calls and set these things up. We're the ones that go and buy the pregnancy test. We're the ones that start doing everything. And we take on this load and we never make the shift away from it. We take on the baby's responsibilities. We take on the husband's responsibilities. We take on our own responsibilities. Everybody's everything, even the dog, everybody. So we eventually have to either divvy it up, we have to delegate it, or we are going to self-destruct because it's not sustainable. You taking on everybody's everything, you're going to hit a wall. Maybe you've already hit this wall. I hit my wall after my third child. I was like, whoa, what in the world is happening? I can't do it anymore. I was just feeling overloaded, overwhelmed. I felt this weight of everybody's everything on my shoulders, which is so silly because I have a super capable, loving husband who is more than happy to help. I just wasn't utilizing him. Or I would say, hey, honey, can you do this? But I actually wasn't letting go of it. I was asking him to do it, but I actually wanted him to do it my way. It doesn't really work that way. Okay, so it's not sustainable to live like this. We know this. So what can we do? We have to let go of control, which a lot of you don't like to do, I being one of them, so I know what you're going through. This idea that when we delegate, we're letting go of expectations, right? So we're letting go, we're asking someone else to do something, but we're also giving up our perfectionism, right? When husband's in charge or child's in charge of bringing in a snack or whatever it is, it's definitely not going to be done our way. They might show up to baseball practice without shoes on. They might go to school without their folder. They might forget things and they might get in trouble, or they might get left out of something, or they're going to look like a hobo when they go to school. One day, my 6-year-old went to school with my boots on, my winter boots on, and I did not know that. But anyways, the idea is that we have to start letting go of our expectations, letting go of control so other people can take on this load. So you have two choices. You can either do everything yourself and put all this self-destructive weight on your shoulders until you're crumbling, right? Because we have expectations of what our kids should look like at school, how they should behave, how the house should look, what the garden should look like, what the lawn should look like, how the dog should be fed, right? We have all these expectations. Because we have expectations, we're the ones that are trying to follow through on this thing because we've created our own expectations. When we start letting go of the expectations, when we start delegating, so-and-so you're in charge of this, so-and-so you're in charge of that, we step back. We let them do it whatever crappy way they want to do it, or whatever wonderful way, right? They're going to learn a lot in the process. For example, my 6-year-old is in charge of feeding the dog. And so all the time, I hate to even say this, but I tell you guys everything. One time, Bella, our dog, was throwing up because she was so hungry. And I actually did not know. But Oakley had forgot to feed her breakfast. And so I said, Oakley, what's going on? And he ran and he took care of it and he runs out the door and he feeds her and he gives her. And you know what? From then forth, he always made sure she ate breakfast. I felt bad because my dog was so hungry she threw up. That's terrible. But it was his responsibility. When I run out the door in the morning and I ask him oh, did anyone feed Bella? He runs back in and he takes care of it. It's not my responsibility. I'd be happy to offer to help him. I'd be like, Oakley, can I help you? Well, how can I help you? But he's the one that says, oh, thank you so much, Mom, right? He knows it's his responsibility and we're helping him. We're not micromanaging how he does it. We don't care what, you can, of course, create some boundaries and some guidelines, but it's their responsibility. They take it on. Okay, what else? we're letting go of these expectations. Again, there's going to be a lot of imperfections now. There's going to be tons of mistakes, tons of failures, tons of looking rough and tough. And it's not going to be done our way. But this is how the emotional shift starts coming, right? I all the time, right? Like before I made this emotional and physical shift, I was, trying to set up the kids' doctor's appointments, their dentist appointments. Let me tell you some other ones, right? The meal planning, the grocery shopping, the cooking, the cleanup, getting the kids to school, getting them home from school, feeding the dog, watering the dog, making sure the kids get their homework done, making sure that they're practicing their instruments, bathing the kids, paying bills, laundry, shopping for the clothes for the special event for the kids, for the photo shoot, planning vacations, car oil changes, car shopping, bathroom cleaning, right? The list could go on and on and on. So sometimes it's helpful to actually sit down and write out all of the family responsibilities, right? For your family to function, what needs to be done, all of those things. And then we go through and we pick, okay, who's doing what? My family's color coded, right? I'm pink, my husband's green, so on and so forth. And I color code who's in charge of what responsibilities. We have to start delegating out these responsibilities. So the first thing we want to do is take inventory of what physical things need to be done for our family. The second one is to delegate and communicate. Okay, so we've decided what needs to be done, and then we've decided who's going to do it, and then we communicate it, right? Like I talk to my oldest son and say, okay, you're in charge of watering the dog. She needs to be watered twice a day, and if those things aren't done, then we lose screens or whatever it is, right? We communicate the expectation, and same thing with our husband, right? Sometimes it's unspoken, right? My husband does, the car maintenance. He changes the oil. He mows mostly. He takes care of, if something breaks, he takes care of that, all the outside stuff, the camping stuff, right? He takes care of the garage, everything like that. And I do other things, right? So we of course have the things that we always do, but sometimes we need to communicate a little bit more clearly, hey, I'm feeling a little overloaded. What's something that, I could delegate to you? What's something that you want to do, right? That communication needs to always be there because especially with a big family, right? When you have 4 or 5 people in your family, there's a lot of responsibilities. And we have these husbands and these kids that are so capable, but we're taking on their responsibility. And when we start taking on this responsibility, we're making it so they rely on us, right? Mom's the crazy one who's always paying attention and doing everything. So they're like, Mom, where's this? Mom, did you wash my jersey? Mom, did you bring my glove? Mom, I need a snack for school, right? They think that we are responsible for their responsibilities because of the way we've acted. It's not by accident that they think this way. It always kills me when, I don't mean judgment because I do it too. I'm saying that when I see a mom carrying kids' book bags, for example, or their sports equipment, for example, right? This is a small example, but why? Why are we carrying their stuff? It's their stuff. It's their responsibility. It's their book bag. It's their school. It's their team, right? They need to take ownership of it, and we need to be okay with the way that they do it. A lot of times that's the reason we jump in and we take it all on. We feel this overload because we have always done it. So we've taken responsibility so much that we think that their responsibilities are our responsibility, right? Because it's always come that way. Here's a Spider-Man quote for you that I'm going to flip upside down that I love, right? With great responsibility comes great power. So the opposite of that is with no responsibility comes disempowered, right? Our husbands and our children in some ways are helpless. And I don't mean to insult. We have created this in so many ways because we've done everything for so long. We've taken their power away because we've taken their responsibilities away. They're incapable because we haven't let them do it yet. Do you feel that? So we need to let go of this, right? We need to let them become and take over ownership and responsibility for the things in their lives because when they grow up, they're not going to have us. They need to take this on. They feel so proud of themselves when they do the things, right? My kids always, when they get home from school, they hang up their book bag and they They put out their folder and I do whatever's in the folder and we put it back, right? Like we have systems in place for them. It's for me, it's for them, it's for everybody, right? Like it's not my job to make sure that they have their homework. It's their job. It's not my job to make sure they're wearing sneakers on gym day. It's their job, right? And so a lot of times they have these natural consequences that come, right? Like if they show up to school without a snack or without their folder, right, they're going to get in trouble from their teacher. And naturally they're going to remember better because it's their responsibility. Okay, so I want you to imagine the mom with these big, heavy things on our shoulders, right? We're feeling way down. We're carrying our family on our back, and our back is starting to hurt. Our husband's right here. Our children are right here. We have to start letting go, shifting the weight off of us a little bit. This is emotional weight. This is physical weight. This is, all the energy we're expending. We want to balance it so we can feel balanced. We want a family and a marriage that feels light and free and balanced. It is so within reach. We just have to learn to let go. A lot of this comes right down to what's happening in our brain, right? It's how we're processing things and what we think should be, and expectations and thoughts and beliefs that we've created about us and our life and our family. We start pulling those apart and we can be free. We can see things differently. We can organize our brains so we can organize our life so we can feel relaxed. Doesn't that sound so much better? Yeah. It's available to you. If you want some help with this, I love this. I love seeing a mama take that weight off her shoulders and feeling free and balanced and relaxed again, feeling like that woman that she once was, that fun, spontaneous woman that she once was. We want to get you back. It's possible. Sign up with me today for a free consult where are going to talk about everything. We're going to figure it out so we can create a plan for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take some of that weight off your shoulders, mamas, and I will see you next week. All right, bye-bye.